Right, regular viewers to this channel may have seen this record before, played on the HMV gramophone. I think it was a 102. This week I found a second copy and I was very pleased. It was going at a very modest price, so I had to snap it up. And it's Johnston Forbes-Robertson, renowned Shakespearean actor, reading his lectures about Shakespeare. And it was issued in the 1920s by an organisation called the International Educational Society, who did their best to spread the education to the world, you know, proper British education, none of that rubbish foreign stuff. And it was issued by the London Graphophone Society. And I'm going to play it on this ultra modern TTX record player, Nancy. This is not some old 1990s, 1980s record player. This is ultra modern, produced in the last 5 years, I think. And it's superb. It plays backwards, it plays forwards, it plays all different speeds. It can play. It's got adaptable head shell. You see that there? That's called a head shell. You can take it off. It's much easier when you're playing different types of records like 78 shellac or vinyl records, where you can change the stylus very easily without having to try and wheedle out a little tiny stylus and breaking things. It's a great record player, as I say. I highly recommend it. Quite hard to find now. They seem to stop actually making this model for some reason beyond description. But anyway, Johnston Forbes-Robertson reading his lectures, part one of the two record set, 2 times 12-inch 78 RPM shellac record set. Open your ears and have a listen.
I am about to speak a few of the very many passages from the plays of Shakespeare where he refers to the player and his art. The first is from Richard II, after he has renounced the crown. The Duchess of York says to her husband, the Duke, "Alas, poor Richard, where rode he the whilst?" The Duke answers, "As in a theatre the eyes of men, after a well-graced actor leaves the stage, are idly bent on him that enters next, thinking his prattle to be tedious. Even so, or with much more contempt, men's eyes did scowl on gentle Richard." Here, obviously, is the actor Shakespeare speaking from his own experience, since he played subordinate parts, and must have suffered from the indifference of the audience after he had taken up his cue from some important actor who had just left the stage. Another reference to the actor spoken by Macbeth when the English have surrounded his castle. Enter Macbeth and Seaton into the courtyard. "Hang out our banners on the outward walls, the cry is still they come. Our castle strength will laugh the seas to scorn. Here let them lie till famine and the ague eat them up. Were they not forced by those which should be ours, we might have met them careful, beard to beard, and beat them backward home." There is a cry of women within the castle. What is that noise? Seaton. It is the cry of women, my good lord. And Seaton goes into the castle. I have almost forgot the taste of tears. The time has been, my senses would have cooled to hear a night's reap, and my fell of hair would at a dismal treatise rouse and stir as if life were in it. I have supped full with horrors. Direness familiar to my slaughterous thoughts cannot once start me. Seaton returns. Wherefore was that cry? The Queen, my lord, is dead. She should have died hereafter. There would have been a time for such a word. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day, to the last syllable of recorded time, and all our yesterdays have lighted pools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle, lights but a walking shadow. A poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
Part 2 of this 2 12-inch 78 RPM shellac record set, Johnston Forbes-Robertson, and his lectures on Shakespeare.
Here is another reference to the actor in the soliloquy spoken by Hamlet after he has interviewed the players. Oh, what a rogue and peasant slave am I! Is it not monstrous that this player here, but in a fiction, in a dream of passion, could force his soul so to his own conceit, that from her working all his visage wan, tears in his eyes, distraction in his aspect, a broken voice, and his whole function suiting, with forms to his conceit, and all for nothing. For Hecuba, what's Hecuba to him or he to Hecuba, that he should weep for her? What would he do, had he the motive and the cue for passion that I have? He would drown the stage with tears, and cleave the general ear with horrid speech, make mad the guilty and appall the free, confound the ignorant, and amaze indeed the very faculties of eyes and ears. Yet I, a dull and muddy metal rascal, speak like John a dreams, unpregnant of the cause, and can say nothing. No, not for a king, upon whose property and most dear life a damned defeat was made. Am I a coward? Who calls me villain, breaks me bait across, tweaks me with the nose, gives me the lie of the throat as deepest to the lungs? Who does me this? Ah, zoons, I should take it, for it cannot be but I am pigeon liver, and lack gall to make oppression bitter. Or ere this, I should have fatted all the region kites with this slave's awful. Bloody, bawdy villain, remorseless, treacherous, lecherous, kindless villain. Oh, vengeance! What an ass am I. This is most brave, that I, the son of a dear father murdered, prompted to me revenge by heaven and hell, must like a whore unpack me heart with words, and fall a cursing like a very grand scullion. Oh, fire one, about me brain. I have heard that guilty creatures sitting at the blade have by the very cunning of the scene been struck so to the soul that presently they have proclaimed their malefactions. For murder, though it have no tongue, will speak with most miraculous organ. I have these players play something like the murder of my father before mine uncle. I observe his looks. I tempt him to the quick. If he but blench, I know me cause. The spirit that I have seen may be the devil, and the devil has power to assume a pleasing shape. Yea, and perhaps out of me weakness and me melancholy, as he is very potent with such spirits, abuses me to damn me. I'll have grounds more rated than this. The play's the thing wherein I'll catch the conscience of the king.
Right, record 2, part 3.
The next reference to the actor's art is Hamlet's advice to the players, written obviously by an actor who has complete command of his calling. Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you, trippingly, on the tongue. But if you mouth it as many of our players do, I had as lief the town crier spoke me lines. Nor do not saw the air too much with your hand, thus, but use all gently, for in the very torrent, tempest, and as I may say, the whirlwind of passion, You must acquire and beget a temperance that will give it smoothness. Oh, it offends me to the soul to hear a robustious, periwig-pated fellow tear a passion to tatters, to very rags, to split the ears of the groundlings, who for the most part are capable of nothing but inexplicable dumb shows and noise. I would have such a fellow whipped for ordering termagant without Herod's Herod. Pray you avoid it. First player, I warrant your honour. Be not too tame, but let your own discretion be your tutor. Suit the action to the word and the word to the action. With this special observance, that you o'erstep not the modesty of nature, for anything so overdone is from the purpose of playing, whose end, both at the first and now, was and is to hold as 'twere the mirror up to nature, to show virtue her own feature, scorn her own image, and the very age and body of the time his form and pressure. Now this overdone, or come tardy off, don't make the unskilful laugh, cannot but make the judicious grieve, the censure of the which one must in your allowance o'erweigh a whole theatre of others. Oh, there be players that I have seen play, and heard others praise, and that highly, not to speak it profanely, that neither having the accent of Christians, nor the gait of Christian, pagan, nor man, have so strutted and bellowed, that I have thought some of nature's journeymen had made men, and not made them well. They imitated humanity so abominably. First player, I hope we have reformed that indifferently with us. Oh, reform it altogether. And let those that play your clowns speak no more than is set down for them. For there be of them that will themselves laugh to set on some quantity of barren spectators to laugh too, though in the meantime some necessary question of the play be then to be considered. That's villainous, and shows a most pitiful ambition in the fool that uses it. Go, make you ready. And the players retire to prepare the stage.
Right, the final of the four sides. Part 4. Shakespeare recital by Johnston Forbes-Robertson.
The Duke of Buckingham's farewell from Henry VIII. All good people, you that thus far have come to pity me, hear what I say, and then go home and lose me. I had this day received a traitor's judgment, and by that name must die. Let heaven bear witness, and if I have a conscience, let it sink me, even as the axe falls, if I be not faithful. The law, I bear no malice for my death, 'twas done upon the premises but justice. But those that sought it, I could wish more Christians. Be what they may, I heartily forgive them. For further life in this world I ne'er hope, nor will I sue, although the king have mercies more than I dare make false. You few that loved me, and dare be bold to weep for Buckingham, his noble friends and fellows, whom to leave is only bitter to him, only dying. Go with me, like good angels, to my end, and as the long divorce of steel falls on me, make of your prayers one sweet sacrifice, and lift my soul to heaven. Lead on of God's name. Loving, I do beseech your grace for charity, if ever any malice in your heart were hid against me, now to forgive me frankly. Sir Thomas, lovely, I free forgive you as I would be forgiven. I forgive all. Commend me to his grace, and if he speak of Buckingham, pray tell him you met him half in heaven. Box, prepare there, the Duke is coming. See the barge be ready, and fitted with such furniture as suits the greatness of his person. Nay, Sir Nicholas, let it alone. My state now will but mock me. When I came hither, I was Lord High Constable and Duke of Buckingham. Now, poor Edward Lord. My noble father, Henry of Buckingham, who first raised head against usurping Richard, flying for succour to his servant Bannister, being distressed, was by that wretch betrayed, and without trial fell. God's peace be with him. Henry the Seventh succeeding, truly pitying the father's loss, like a most royal prince, restored me to the honours, and out of ruins made me name once more noble. Now his son, Henry the Eighth, life, honour, name, and all that made me happy, but one stroke has stained forever from the world. I had my trial, I must needs say a noble one, which makes me a little happier than the wretched father. Yet thus far we are one in fortunes, both fell by our servants, by those men we loved the most, a most unnatural and faithless service. Heaven has an end in all. Yet you that hear me, this from a dying man receive as certain. Where you are liberal of your loves and counsels, be sure you be not loose. For those you make your friends and give your hearts to, when they once perceive the least rub in your fortunes, fall away like water from you, never found again, but where they mean to sink you. All good people, pray for me. I must now forsake you. The last hour of my long, weary life is come. Farewell, and when you would say something that is sad, speak how I fell. I have done, and God forgive.
Bit more scratchy than the other copy I've got. The other one's quite a clean copy, but nice to have a second copy anyway, just in case it becomes necessary. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.